Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in James chapter 2, verses 2 to 4. I'm going to read verses 1 to 4 just to give us the context. We looked at verse 1 last time. But my brethren, do not hold your faith in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ with an attitude of personal favoritism. For if a man comes into your assembly with a gold ring and dressed in fine clothes, and there also comes in a poor man in dirty clothes, and you pay special attention to the one who's wearing fine clothes and say, you sit here in a good place. And you say to the poor man, you stand over there or sit down by my footstool. Have you not made distinctions among yourselves and become judges with evil motives? Last time we looked at verse 1, where we see the command not to show personal favoritism towards others, especially of all places in the church of Jesus Christ. And then verses 2 to 4, he gives us an example of what that might look like. This may have actually happened, or it's just something that this kind of attitude will do when presented with the opportunity, but more likely this church was guilty of doing this. And then the example James gives is an obvious one. How do we treat those with money, rich people who come to our church versus poor people who come to our church? Now that verses 2 and 3 gives us the example, it's not hard to picture this. The rich guy comes in and you treat him to the best chair, the closest to the front, so everybody can see him. The poor person, you stick him off in the corner and tell him to sit on the floor, or just don't make a spectacle of themselves, just sort of be inconspicuous. But it's basically partiality or favoritism based on appearance. In this case, based on what they're wearing. And the implication seemed to be that they were not known to the people. The only criteria they had for showing partiality was how they were dressed. But notice partiality bears fruit, meaning what you pay attention to dictates how you're going to treat people. What's important to you is going to dictate how you treat others. I think it's fair to say that the rich people are not asking to be treated this way. Probably some might, but I think that's not the problem James is addressing here. The problem is not with the rich people and the poor people. It's the people's attitude of favoritism toward the rich man that causes him to act this way. Favoritism is the rich man is given a seat of honor. He's giving a seat, periods. The poor guy's just told to sit on the floor. Verse 3, the word look up to means to look upon with favor or admiration, because he appears to be rich. And the conclusion in verse 4 is that you're making distinctions, you're discriminating. You'll become judges. Judges with evil thoughts would be a better translation, is judges with evil and vicious motives. Well, let's think about this. What's going on here? Why favor the rich man over the poor man? Well, I've heard people say, no doubt you have had it too, oh, if only so-and-so will come to our church, that would give us status. Or maybe when somebody comes to our church, we hope they stay because everybody knows who they are. They're well known in the community. They're well off. They'll give us status. They'll give our church credibility. They'll impress visitors. So-and-so goes to that church. The rich person makes us look good. It gives us some positive visibility in the community, respectability. He may even help our church's bottom line. Maybe funds are a little low. It may even help my bottom line. Maybe my selfish motivation is to get something out of him for myself. He will be low maintenance, won't require much time. He travels in rich people's circles, so maybe he can bring other rich people in. And this is all based on how he's dressed. Designer clothes, fancy car, and so on. The poor man's a drain on our resources. He's an eyesore. He's high maintenance. He brings the overall image of the church down a notch. If our church starts filling up with poor people, with homeless people, who will want to come? It's embarrassing. But that only shows the superficiality of the heart. Who do we think we are? Who do we think we are? Who would want to come? Who would want to come if poor people came? Homeless people, more poor people. Homeless people, hurting people, widows, orphans. Remember, they're the people that real religion look out for, take care of. That's what it's all about. The church is a place for the poor, the needy, the hurting, the lost, the sinner. It's not a social club for the got it all together of society. That's what the Pharisees had turned their religion into. These people have become judges, not of the heart, but of appearance. totally disregarding the person's intrinsic value, having been created in the image of God. They're judging solely on the basis of appearance, of status, of race, of skin color, of nationality, of gender. The church at Corinth, I think, struggled with this attitude, as most churches and most people do. This pride, spiritual elitism, forgetting what we all have in common. Well, how does Paul help them correct this attitude? Right up front, he gives them some wonderful verses in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 26 to 29. Listen to what he tells the church at Corinth. And this is what James needs to be telling the church that he's writing to. This is what we all need to remember. Consider your calling, brethren, that there may not be many wise according to the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble. But God has chosen the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God has chosen the weak things of the world to shame the things which are strong. And the base things of the world and the despised God has chosen. The things that are not, so that he may nullify the things that are, so that no man may boast before God. Kent Hughes has said, for Christians, the ground is level at the foot of the cross. This being so, it is absurd to be partial towards anyone. All should be treated equally. As beings created in the image of God, rich and poor should be accorded equal honor and cordiality. Discrimination or favoritism is spiritually irrational. End quote. We've all been plucked from the same horrible pit of sin. We all worship Christ, singing, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and might and honor and glory and blessing. Church is not the place for us to shine. It's a place for the Lord of glory to shine. It's a place for the cross of Jesus Christ to be magnified. It's a place for Christ to be lifted up and glorified in the heart of every believer. Favoritism has no place in the church of Jesus Christ. And I think James gives us a striking example of what that looks like and how hideous it is in the eyes of God. And it should be hideous in our eyes as well as God's people. So we'll see the irony of this next time in verse 5, but we'll leave it there for now. So may this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live our lives for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.